Stop lying to yourself. Stop settling for less in your life, in your love, and in your dreams. Every compromise you make chips away at your potential, steals your confidence, and keeps you trapped in mediocrity. What if I told you that the life you've been dreaming of is waiting right on the other side of fear, discomfort, and self-doubt? Today, we're going to break the cycle, raise your standards, and show you exactly how to stop settling forever. Too often, people settle because they believe compromise is the only path to peace. They convince themselves that lowering standards will make life easier, or that tolerance of mediocrity is maturity. This is a dangerous mindset that slowly erodes self-respect. Every time someone accepts less than they deserve, they reinforce a pattern that limits their potential. The world mirrors the energy you emit, and if your energy is okay, that's all life will offer. Clarity about personal boundaries is critical in stopping this cycle. You cannot expect others to meet your standards if you haven't defined them. Recognizing what you will and will not accept is a radical act of self-love. Every decision to uphold standards is a declaration of your value. Self-worth is not negotiable. It is the foundation for everything else. It begins with a conscious choice to refuse what does not serve your growth. Many people confuse settling with compromise, but they are not the same. Compromise is mutual, balanced, and respectful, while settling is surrendering. Settling comes from fear, laziness, or a misguided desire for acceptance. When you raise your standards, you attract experiences, people, and opportunities that match your energy. Standards act as a filter, allowing only what aligns with your highest self to enter your life. They prevent wasted energy and wasted time on things that cannot fulfill you. People who settle often don't recognize this gap until they feel frustrated or resentful. Understanding the difference between surrender and strategic choice is liberating. This awareness is the first step toward never compromising on what matters. Many individuals stay because they fear confrontation or rejection. They tell themselves that insisting on higher standards will make them difficult, selfish, or undesirable. In reality, having standards is the ultimate form of self-respect. It communicates to the world that your time, energy, and emotions are valuable. It is impossible to build meaningful relationships or careers without knowing your worth. Standards are not walls. They are gates that protect your life from chaos and disappointment. People who respect themselves create environments that reflect their values. Every boundary you set sends a signal to the universe about your expectations. Those who honor their own principles are rarely taken for granted. Refusing to settle transforms how others perceive you and how you perceive yourself. The consequences of not owning your standards are subtle but destructive. Settling leads to slow dissatisfaction, a sense of being trapped, and diminished confidence. It erodes your identity because every compromise chips away at the person you are capable of being. People often blame circumstances, luck, or other people when in reality the problem begins with a lack of clear boundaries. Accepting less than you deserve creates patterns that are hard to break over time. Habits of tolerance for mediocrity become self-fulfilling prophecies. Raising standards requires courage and clarity, but provides immense freedom. It empowers you to choose experiences that elevate rather than diminish you. Clarity about what you want and deserve is non-negotiable. Once you internalize this, you begin to live intentionally rather than reactively. A strong standard system is built on self-awareness and self-respect. You must know what you value and what is essential to your growth. Without this knowledge, it is impossible to discern between acceptable compromise and settling. Reflect on your goals, your principles, and the qualities that truly matter to you. Align your decisions with your values consistently. People who settle often confuse convenience with compatibility. They ignore red flags and tolerate disrespect because it is easier than asserting themselves. Self-respect allows you to identify these compromises and reject them without guilt. Establishing standards is not about controlling others. It is about controlling your own environment. It is about refusing to accept less than what you know you are capable of achieving. The fear of being alone often drives people to lower standards. This fear is rooted in insecurity and the mistaken belief that loneliness is worse than dissatisfaction. In reality, solitude can be liberating and clarifying. It allows space to grow, reflect and attract the right people and opportunities. Settling to avoid being alone is a short-term solution with long-term consequences. It sacrifices potential happiness for temporary comfort. When you prioritize your standards, you cultivate patience and discernment. The right circumstances and people are drawn to those who value themselves. By refusing to settle, I trust me to take back. You send a clear message about what you will accept in life. Standards are a shield against compromise that leads to regret. Every interaction, decision, and commitment reflects your standards. They influence the quality of your relationships, your career, and your personal growth. People who consistently uphold their standards experience clarity and purpose. They develop self-confidence that is unshakable because it is grounded in self-respect. Each time you enforce your standards, you reinforce the belief that your life has value and direction. Settling erodes this belief and keeps you stuck in cycles of disappointment. High standards are not superficial. They are practical tools for designing a life you love. They reduce wasted energy on people, places, and activities that do not serve your highest purpose. The more consistent you are, the more naturally the world responds in alignment with your expectations. Clarity in standards equals freedom in choices. Society often pressures people to conform, tolerate, and compromise. This external pressure can distort perception, making low expectations seem normal. Rejecting these pressures requires courage and conviction. High standards are an act of rebellion against mediocrity, complacency, and social conditioning. They are a commitment to living deliberately rather than drifting. Life rewards those who know their worth and refuse to settle. Standards guide behavior, interactions, and goals. They are the blueprint for a life of meaning and fulfillment. Without them, decisions are reactive and life becomes a series of compromises. With them, life becomes intentional, rewarding, and aligned with personal values. The process of raising standards is ongoing and iterative. It demands reflection, assessment, and occasional recalibration. Standards must evolve as growth occurs, but the core principle remains never accept less than you deserve. This evolution allows you to expand your potential continuously. As standards are strengthened, confidence and self-esteem increase naturally. People begin to mirror the respect and expectation you hold for yourself. Life becomes a series of aligned opportunities rather than compromises. Each refusal to settle reinforces a powerful internal narrative of self-worth. The commitment to high standards becomes a defining characteristic. It transforms both perception and experience in profound ways. Every day presents choices that test your standards. From the people you interact with to the projects you take on, these choices shape your trajectory. Settling is always available as a tempting shortcut, but it comes at the cost of growth. By consistently choosing what aligns with your standards, you create a life of purpose and fulfillment. This consistency strengthens your inner authority and makes decision-making easier over time. People respect those who respect themselves. Life begins to reflect the quality of the expectations you set. Higher standards do not guarantee a smooth path, but they guarantee alignment with your potential. The clarity and empowerment that come from refusing to settle are unparalleled. Your life becomes a reflection of intentional choices, not passive acceptance. Comfort is deceptively alluring because it masks stagnation as peace. People often mistake routine and predictability for security, when in reality it keeps them trapped. Staying in familiar patterns feels safe, but it comes at the cost of potential growth. Settling into comfort allows fear of the unknown to dictate choices. The moment you prioritize ease over expansion, life becomes a series of repetitive cycles. Avoiding risk may provide temporary relief, but it also erodes confidence and ambition. True progress only occurs outside of comfort zones, where challenges demand adaptation. Every risk taken outside comfort builds resilience and self-trust. Growth requires a willingness to experience temporary discomfort. Comfort traps are invisible chains that quietly prevent transformation. Fear plays a central role in keeping people tethered to what feels safe. The unknown is intimidating, and imagination magnifies potential failures. Many choose familiarity because it minimizes perceived risk even when dissatisfaction is evident. Fear convinces people that enduring mediocrity is better than facing uncertainty. This mindset undermines dreams, ambitions, and emotional fulfillment. Avoiding discomfort becomes a habit that shapes all life decisions. Courage is the antidote to this fear, but it must be actively practiced. Every small step outside comfort zones compounds over time, building a foundation for larger leaps. Growth is never immediate. It is a continuous process requiring persistence. Acting despite fear transforms limitations into opportunities and stagnation into momentum. People often rationalize staying in comfortable situations by focusing on short-term benefits. Convenience, predictability, and the illusion of stability makes settling seem justifiable. They overlook the long-term consequences of inaction. Compromising for comfort may preserve energy today, but limits achievements tomorrow. Life's most significant rewards rarely come from choosing the easiest path. The gap between who someone is and who they could become widens with each avoided challenge. Recognizing this gap is crucial for initiating change. Self-awareness is the first step in identifying when comfort has become a trap. Once identified, it can be actively dismantled. Growth demands replacing ease with intentional discomfort and purpose-driven action. Avoiding discomfort often leads to low-risk decisions that generate minimal fulfillment. When safety governs choices, people avoid situations that could accelerate development. Avoiding rejection, failure, or conflict often comes at the cost of meaningful experiences. Growth requires a willingness to endure temporary unease for long-term gain. Every successful person has faced discomfort as a consistent companion. Struggle, and challenge are signals of progression rather than obstacles to avoid. Comfort may provide temporary relief, but discomfort produces lasting transformation. Individuals who embrace challenges develop resilience, resourcefulness, and confidence. The ability to tolerate discomfort is a skill that compounds over time. By reframing fear as opportunity, comfort ceases to dominate decision-making. Settling into comfort often affects both life and love simultaneously. Emotional safety becomes prioritized over authentic connection. People may stay in relationships that feel easy instead of pursuing meaningful depth. Avoiding conflict or difficult conversations preserves temporary stability but undermines growth. Settling can lead to long-term dissatisfaction because needs, values, and desires are compromised. True fulfillment requires courage to question the status quo. This courage creates space for honest evaluation and the pursuit of better opportunities. Personal standards must never be sacrificed for the sake of comfort. Choosing growth over ease strengthens self-respect and attracts higher quality experiences. Life and love flourish only when discomfort is embraced as a necessary catalyst for transformation. The temptation of comfort often masks underlying fear of failure. Many individuals underestimate the power of small, incremental risks. They avoid new challenges because the outcome is uncertain. This cautiousness prevents skill development and limits potential. Stepping beyond comfort reveals hidden capabilities and builds confidence. Failure is not a reflection of inadequacy, but a stepping stone toward mastery. Each risk taken expands boundaries and cultivates resilience. Settling keeps talents and passions dormant, denying them the opportunity to flourish. Life demands active participation and the courage to pursue goals despite uncertainty. Recognizing discomfort as the vehicle for growth shifts mindset from avoidance to action. Free from comfort requires deliberate effort and consistent self-reflection. Awareness of complacency is the first step toward reclaiming control. People must evaluate areas of life where ease has replaced growth. Patterns of settling often repeat unconsciously until they are consciously addressed. Journaling, reflection, and honest self-assessment help illuminate these patterns. Once identified, action plans can be implemented to challenge inertia. Small, intentional discomforts compound into significant transformations over time. The process demands patience, persistence, and courage. Habits that encourage expansion must replace habits that reinforce comfort. Growth becomes inevitable when discomfort is treated as a tool rather than a threat. Comfort is often romanticized as contentment, yet it frequently masks stagnation. People confuse lack of struggle with satisfaction, failing to notice the subtle erosion of ambition. Accepting the familiar over the unknown limits experiences and potential achievements. Growth, by contrast, requires stepping into situations that are uncomfortable, unpredictable, and challenging. Each deliberate move outside the comfort zone builds confidence and skill. Overcoming fear of discomfort expands mental and emotional capacity. People who embrace discomfort develop clarity about desires and boundaries. Life becomes more vibrant when challenges are pursued rather than avoided. Avoiding discomfort may preserve energy temporarily, but diminishes long-term fulfillment. Comfort traps must be challenged to unlock true potential. Comfort often acts as a barrier between present reality and future potential. People underestimate the cumulative impact of small compromises for ease. Each instance of choosing convenience over growth gradually diminishes opportunity. Avoiding risk prevents exposure to experiences that could accelerate personal and professional development. True fulfillment emerges from the tension between capability and challenge. Discomfort signals areas for expansion and self-improvement. The choice to step outside comfort zones is a deliberate act of empowerment. Those who consistently pursue growth despite discomfort cultivate resilience, skill, and confidence. Settling limits these opportunities, ensuring that life remains predictable and shallow. Discomfort, when embraced, becomes the catalyst for transformation and alignment with potential. Recognizing the trap of comfort is essential for intentional living. Growth and fulfillment require constant reassessment of habits, choices, and environments. Each decision to prioritize expansion over ease strengthens autonomy and self-respect. Individuals who act despite discomfort gain mastery over their fears. Life rewards action more than cautious inaction. By reframing discomfort as essential to growth, it becomes a source of energy rather than a deterrent. Settling into ease reduces resilience and narrows perspective. The most significant opportunities in life often require leaving the familiar behind. By choosing growth over comfort, individuals cultivate deeper relationships, better careers, and greater personal fulfillment. The journey beyond comfort is the path to realizing true potential. Many people underestimate the power of self-investment, believing that external circumstances will shape their success. They wait for opportunities to appear instead of creating them, assuming life owes them growth or recognition. True empowerment comes from taking control of personal development relentlessly. Skills, knowledge, and emotional intelligence are non-negotiable tools for designing a life of abundance. The investment in oneself compounds over time, creating returns that no one else can provide. Growth requires discipline, consistency, and prioritization of what truly matters. People who neglect self-investment often feel stagnant and undervalued. High achievers understand that personal growth dictates the quality of opportunities that arise. Every effort made toward improvement enhances confidence, competence, and clarity. Self-investment is not optional. It is foundational to success in all areas of life. Many individuals undervalue themselves, which creates a cycle of low expectations and compromises. If someone doesn't recognize their worth, others will rarely offer it voluntarily. Confidence and self-respect are built through deliberate actions that reinforce competence. The act of prioritizing one's own growth signals to the world that personal value is non-negotiable. This includes learning, physical well-being, emotional intelligence, and financial literacy. Investing in oneself is not selfish. It is necessary for creating sustainable fulfillment. People who do not take ownership of their development often struggle to attract high-quality experiences. Self-investment increases clarity about what is truly desired and eliminates distractions. Every step taken toward improvement strengthens resilience and decision-making ability. Personal growth creates leverage, empowering individuals to operate from a position of strength. The journey of self-investment requires a shift from instant gratification to long-term vision. Many are tempted by quick fixes or comfort instead of consistent effort. True transformation demands patience, persistence, and strategic choices. Every skill learned, every habit formed, and every area of growth cultivated is an investment in freedom. The cumulative effect of consistent self-improvement compounds into tangible results. Take it back. People who prioritize temporary comfort often settle for less, stagnating and unfulfilling routines. Investing in yourself develops adaptability, confidence, and clarity in life's choices. Back. Growth demands calculated discomfort, deliberate effort, and accountability to oneself. Those who commit to constant improvement create momentum that is difficult to interrupt. Personal investment is the engine that drives opportunities, relationships, and fulfillment toward alignment. Self-investment also means taking ownership of emotional well-being. Emotional intelligence is a cornerstone of growth, shaping interactions, decisions, and resilience. People who neglect this often react impulsively, limiting potential for meaningful connection and influence. Developing emotional awareness requires reflection, self-regulation, and empathy. These skills enhance decision-making and cultivate stronger relationships. Investing in emotional growth strengthens self-confidence and reduces susceptibility to manipulation or compromise. People who prioritize emotional intelligence navigate challenges with clarity and composure. This foundation allows for deliberate and empowered choices across all areas of life. Emotional investment amplifies the returns of other forms of personal growth. It ensures that life is approached with purpose, presence, and confidence rather than reactivity. Investing in skills and knowledge is equally critical. The world rewards competence, not entitlement, and those who continually expand their capabilities gain leverage. Lifelong learning opens doors that stagnation cannot reach. Every book read, course taken, or skill mastered compounds over time into opportunities. People who neglect skill development often remain dependent on circumstances rather than shaping them. Expertise builds credibility, influence, and freedom of choice. Investing in knowledge allows individuals to pivot, innovate, and adapt in dynamic environments. The pursuit of mastery creates momentum that attracts like-minded people and opportunities. Skills and knowledge are the currency of impact, empowering those who commit to continual growth. Investing here is not optional, but a requirement for achieving meaningful success. Financial literacy and independence are essential components of self-investment. Understanding money, creating systems, and building assets provide freedom that cannot be earned through compromise alone. People who neglect financial growth often remain vulnerable to dependency and limitation. Strategic financial investment increases security, choice, and leverage in all aspects of life. Money, when mastered, becomes a tool to amplify growth rather than a source of stress. Self-investment includes budgeting, saving, investing, and understanding value exchange. Developing financial intelligence enhances confidence and reduces reactive decisions. People who take charge of their financial growth operate from strength rather than fear. The discipline to prioritize long-term financial health over short-term gratification compounds powerfully over time. Financial empowerment is an indispensable element of holistic self-investment. Physical and mental well-being are also crucial dimensions of growth. The body and mind are the instruments through which all achievements are realized. Neglecting health compromises energy, focus, and effectiveness in every area of life. Exercise, nutrition, and rest are investments that compound into vitality, resilience, and confidence. Mental health practices such as mindfulness, reflection, and stress management strengthen clarity and decision-making. Self-investment in these areas creates a foundation for sustainable achievement. People who prioritize well-being demonstrate discipline, presence, and intentionality. Energy and stamina become assets that amplify the impact of all other efforts. Investing in health ensures longevity and capability, enabling the pursuit of goals without unnecessary limitations. Physical and mental resilience supports every endeavor in life and love. Personal growth also requires cultivating boundaries and standards in interactions. People who settle often undervalue themselves in relationships and environments, accepting subpar treatment. Self-investment involves clearly defining what is acceptable and what is not. Boundaries protect energy, focus, and dignity, reinforcing the message that personal value is non-negotiable. This is as much an internal investment as an external one, shaping how the world engages with you. Consistently enforcing boundaries strengthens self-respect and decision-making. People who invest in themselves attract respect, opportunity, and alignment. Boundaries prevent distractions, drain, and compromise from diluting potential. They are the framework that allows self-investment to bear fruit in tangible ways. Every boundary set is an act of deliberate growth and self-prioritization. The mindset behind self-investment is equally important as the actions themselves. People who achieve growth cultivate a perspective of abundance, curiosity, and accountability. They view challenges as opportunities and discomfort as a signal for expansion. Self-investment thrives on the belief that effort compounds and that personal growth drives results. This mindset reduces fear, indecision, and reliance on external validation. It fosters initiative and resilience, even in the face of setbacks. People who neglect mindset remain trapped by self-doubt and external circumstances. A growth-oriented mindset amplifies the impact of every skill, habit, and effort. It ensures that challenges become catalysts rather than obstacles. Mindset shapes not only actions, but also outcomes, reinforcing the importance of consistent self-investment. Ultimately, self-investment is a relentless pursuit of alignment between potential and action. People who commit to this path design lives of clarity, fulfillment, back, and influence. Every decision, skill, habit, and boundary reinforces their trajectory. Growth requires daily commitment, discipline, and awareness, but its returns are exponential. Individuals who invest in themselves experience freedom, choice, and confidence that cannot be replicated externally. Opportunities, relationships, and experiences align with elevated standards. Back. People who neglect self-investment often wonder why life feels stagnant despite effort. Investment in oneself is the cornerstone of independence, resilience, and fulfillment. By consistently prioritizing growth, life becomes intentional, abundant, and aligned with true potential. Seeking approval is one of the most subtle ways people settle in life and love. Many constantly look outward for validation, believing that acceptance from others equates to worth. This dependence on external approval often results in compromised choices, diminished confidence, and stagnation. Waiting for someone to approve a decision or endorse a direction robs life of momentum. People who settle in this way rarely act with clarity or intention, instead reacting to the expectations of others. Freedom emerges when self-approval replaces the need for constant validation. Your sense of worth must be cultivated internally, independent of others' opinions. Those who rely on external validation often tolerate mediocrity to avoid rejection. Taking ownership of your choices is the first step toward refusing to settle. Once self-approval becomes primary, life starts reflecting your own standards. People often fear being judged when choosing what truly matters to them. This fear keeps them stuck in unfulfilling routines or relationships that feel safe. It convinces them that others' opinions are more important than their own desires. Acting based on fear of judgment is an insidious form of settling. Courage is required to choose your path without asking permission. Every decision made from fear strengthens the hold of external influence. By contrast, decisions rooted in self-respect and clarity empower rather than limit. Taking action despite judgment develops resilience and self-assurance over time. Life becomes a series of deliberate steps toward what truly matters. Choosing alignment over approval is the key to authentic fulfillment. Settling often masquerades as patience or compromise, but it is usually avoidance. People avoid difficult conversations, bold moves, or risk taking to preserve temporary comfort. Approval seeking reinforces this avoidance because it prioritizes comfort over progress. Life rewards those who act decisively rather than those who wait for consensus. Every delay driven by the need for validation diminishes opportunities. Action is the antidote to settling. It creates movement even when conditions are imperfect. People who consistently choose action cultivate momentum that attracts the right circumstances. The courage to act independently reinforces self-worth and strengthens boundaries. Taking decisive action is an expression of self-respect and refusal to compromise. Life becomes expansive when action outweighs hesitation. Self-trust is essential to breaking the cycle of approval seeking. When individuals trust their instincts and judgment, external opinions lose power over decisions. People who settle often doubt themselves, making them vulnerable to influence from others. Trusting yourself allows for clarity, consistency, and empowered choices. Developing self-trust involves reflection, learning from mistakes, and recognizing personal growth. The more consistently decisions are made with self-confidence, the stronger the internal compass becomes. Trusting yourself reduces dependence on external validation and eliminates unnecessary compromise. Every act of self-trust strengthens resilience and autonomy. Life begins to respond to the clarity of personal standards. Self-trust transforms hesitation into decisive action and empowers authentic living. Taking action without waiting for approval also shifts the quality of relationships and opportunities. People who consistently act with self-respect attract respect in return. Those who tolerate or depend on approval often attract environments that mirror insecurity. By setting a standard of self-ownership, relationships naturally align with integrity and mutual respect. People learn to engage with clarity and authenticity rather than manipulation or expectation. Every action taken from confidence signals that your time, energy, and emotions are valuable. Environments that fail to honor this standard naturally fall away. The process filters opportunities, partnerships, and experiences to those that match personal alignment. Acting independently becomes a magnet for meaningful and fulfilling connections. It ensures that life and love are guided by choice rather than compromise. Fear of rejection is one of the most powerful forces behind settling. People worry that asserting boundaries or taking bold steps will push others away. This fear often results in diluted desires, postponed ambitions, and acquiescence to mediocrity. The reality is that rejection is a form of feedback, not a measure of worth. Those who embrace the possibility of rejection develop resilience, clarity, and confidence. Life rewards risk takers who prioritize growth over temporary comfort. Choosing alignment over fear allows individuals to attract experiences that match their standards. Rejection clears the path for opportunities that are truly compatible. Settling driven by fear limits potential, whereas courage invites expansion. Embracing rejection as part of the process is a transformative act of self-respect. Clarity in personal standards amplifies the ability to refuse settling. When desires, values, and boundaries are clearly defined, decisions become more intentional. People who settle often lack this clarity, leaving them susceptible to influence and compromise. Defining what is non-negotiable provides a framework for action and decision-making. Back. Clarity reduces hesitation, doubt, and reliance on approval. It also strengthens the ability to recognize opportunities that genuinely align with goals. People who act from clarity demonstrate integrity and self-respect. Decisions become less about seeking permission and more about honoring personal truth. Life begins to flow toward alignment with consistent intention. Clarity is the anchor that empowers action. Self-respect, back, and fulfillment. Consistency in choosing self-approval over external validation compounds over time. Each small decision made independently reinforces self-worth. Patterns of settling weaken when repeated acts of self-ownership become habitual. The momentum gained from consistent, courageous choices creates leverage in life and relationships. Back. People who act independently inspire trust, respect, and alignment from others. Settling is a default state, but deliberate action reshapes patterns into purposeful living. Over time, back. The habit of choosing alignment strengthens boundaries and reduces susceptibility to compromise. Life becomes less reactive and more intentional with each decision rooted in self-approval. Back. The compounding effect of consistency produces a life defined by empowerment and respect. Consistency transforms freedom from theoretical to tangible. Ultimately, refusing to seek approval is a radical act of self-respect and liberation. People who embrace self-approval operate from a place of authority over their own lives. They act decisively, define boundaries, back, and attract experiences aligned with their standards. Life becomes a reflection of intentional choices rather than reactions to external expectations. Every action rooted in self-approval reinforces confidence, clarity, back, and growth. Settling diminishes potential, while consistent empowerment amplifies opportunity. Choosing alignment over approval ensures that time, energy, and emotion are invested purposefully. Back. The journey requires courage, reflection, and commitment, but it yields a life of authenticity and fulfillment. By prioritizing self-approval, people create freedom, integrity, and a life that reflects true worth.